Good morning, everyone. It is February the 16th, 2016. Apologize for being a little bit late, but didn't get home till midnight-ish, and pretty short night when you get right down to it. So I know it's a personal problem, and I'm not too worried about it. The oil news, crude oil news, took crude oil way up, took stock markets up. But then they found out that they're freezing production at January levels, which is the highest production OPEC has ever had, Russia's ever had. Iran production is coming back up, and Iran's name isn't on the deal. And Iran has flat out told everybody, we're not going to be held back on any of our oil production, and Iran will get buyers. So that's an extra 600,000 barrels a day on the market. Most people believe that do that. So a lot of noise, a lot of fanfare, big rally in crude oil. But when you get down and you look at the details of the deal, we're freezing production at today's level. Iran's not part of it, and the world continues to slide into, I'm not saying necessarily a recession, but economic activity is slowing. So the markets have responded accordingly. They've sold off a little bit after the details emerged. So here we are with waiting to see what happens with the E-mini. 1900 is formidable resistance on the E-mini. We are lower when we look at Thursday's close after the auction. Closed very, very weak. The Friday action, then we had the holiday action, and here we find ourselves at 130.25. So there's pretty good selling at 131, 131.04, and the buyers look like they might be at 30.16, 30.20. Today's news is limited to Empire, manufacturing, survey at -10, can come in lower than forecast, and housing market index at 61. Last month it was 60. They've done a pretty good job of pumping this, and this is one where it's in the self-interest of the home builders queried to say, things are great. What do you mean? You know, because there's such a thing called the construction draw when they get about 30% of their money when they break ground. And developers develop. That's their job, and they will develop until the banks will no longer let them do such. So that's where we find ourselves. Not much in the way of news today. So buy one, 17 to 21. Buy two, 9 to 13. Have a feeling that the E-mini might sell today. On the sell side, 27s to 31s, going to lean against 131. Would like to get it done as close to 131 even as possible. And then 3 to 7. Seems like these are last week's numbers, right? $27 is very, very aggressive. Probably needs some help from the E-mini right now to freeze the market at that level. 31's not so aggressive. Not much news to drive prices today, so E-mini and crude probably two things that will drive the market. Okay, we had a B on Thursday's late action. We had a B on Friday's action, and markets were closed, and here we find ourselves with support basically 65, 65.08. You can just see it over here. You can see the double print at 65.04. You can see this print at 65.08 at the overnight session low of 6. Somebody said, let's just split the difference and see what happens. So resistance 28 to the buck, 26, and we're currently at 21. 25, 29, so 1. And then we're going to jump it up to 711. I just have to give this contract some room. On the buy side, 5 to 9, buy one. Might take a 13 to get in. We'll just put a question mark at 13. Think we can do a little better. And then 25 to 29. And again, takes some help from the stock market to get to our number 2 levels. Gold is lower off of the oil deal until the details were read, and it's come roaring back. So right now we got pretty good support, 90 to 95. You can see we got all the way up to what, 1258, 1264. And we have the spill, and then we've come back. So this break in the market, 15 to 17, we'll make it 14 to 16, sell 1. Asia kind of ran into resistance at 20, so 19 to 21, sell 2. On the buy side, we have the break at 9. So 8 to 10, buy 1. And then 3 to 5, buy 2. Okay, not officially on the mainland of China, but offshore, there was pretty heavy selling again in the yuan last night. And either China or the markets are going to take the yuan down because that's all that China has. I mean, it's the only shot they have at pulling this off. And they're in pretty dire straits when you look at the debt being created and the rest of what they do. Now, being in a police state, the communist country, they've got a little more ability to screw with the market like that, but eventually it catches up to them too, and they're desperately trying to fend that off. So it looks like we got 112 even, give or take, is resistance. So sell 1's 112 even plus or minus, sell 2 is going to be 25. On the buy side, I think we can go a little bit lower. We got buyers below 50, so buy number 1, 50, and buy number 2, 25. A lot of what OPEC's deal is on, it sounds good. They've got the rhetoric. They do all the right talking. But when they can't get a deal, they leave things as are. And so they can't get a deal from Iran. Iran's told them that. And the market is sold pretty heavily. So we've really rejected prices above 31 and a quarter. And the last rotate up is 30. So here we are at 44. So 75 to 30, sell 1. You got this break or spell from 50, 25 to 50, sell 2. It's an agreement about nothing. They can't get an agreement, so we're going to freeze. We're going to freeze things where we have them right now. 29 even, 29 and a quarter, buy 1. Have this breakout over here from 28.50, so 28 and a quarter, 28.50 buy 2. And last but not least, the E-mini. Okay, we got this gap down here, and the market hates gaps, so buying in 1862, leaning against that gap, buying in 1865. So 62, 65 is going to be pretty good support. We've got the London low here at 72.5. We're at 79. So 70, 75 is going to be buy one. If crude sells, I think the sell is in the stock market because of crude, and then stops below 60, 55, 60 buy two. Like the short side first on the assumption we can take out London's low. If we can't take out London's low, then we'll change our thinking. 85 to 90, sell one. And then if we take out the 95 level, probably going to get stops above 1900, so 1899, 1904, sell two. Empire Manufacturing Survey -10, that number could come in lower than forecast. Housing Price Index, '61. That one probably will come in as forecast. So not much in the way of news. It's going to be the direction of crude oil, I believe. That okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will see you as soon as possible.